Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the content you like to watch is very visually engaging, and you're several hours into watching videos and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your knitting as you would have liked to. So I am a solution to that. Now, if you are new here, this is part of my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series, in which I push myself to finish all of my projects that I have lined up to give to friends and family for the holiday season. And now that it's mid-September, going on late mid-September, I'm getting closer and closer to the deadline. And I actually haven't touched this project in a while. This is the Chevee wrap that is by Brian Smith, and the pattern is available on Ravelry for free as a download. So, and the description has the information to get a hold of the pattern if you'd like to work on it yourself. But I do have the printout of it, and here's a close-up of what the finished product should look like. So it's like a nice little chevron style wrap here with it's kind of knit two pieces together, and then you join them, and then you continue to knit as one piece, going all the way up the rest of the way, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I worked on this at work. I took it home, worked a little bit on it on video, and then I started working on the Ray Light socks, and then I butchered the first pair, so I started again. And I also have been working a lot with the Tapestry project that is a very soon approaching deadline that I have to get done. But I've done a couple of videos of that one in a row now, so I thought I should jump back into some of the holiday knitting just to kind of wrap up the week here. And to get started, I have to knit like a set and then do something, knit a set, and that kind of makes those little chevron patterns. Like the set is the chevron, and then you have a break, and then you knit the set again for the chevron pattern. So starting, it's been a while, so I need to refresh my memory of what I need to do right now, but then I'll just get started and start chatting with you guys. So, okay. Okay. Got it. So, we'll just go ahead with the pattern. And, oh my goodness, it's been a crazy week here. I had worked, as you guys know from my last video, if you're watching all of these in order, this one is part of the series, but it's, I think this is video 28 now. So the 27th video I filmed, hard to believe that now. I was talking about all the work I've been doing, and I was actually just on Monday, I had worked 22 days. Like today I'm filming, it's Saturday, and so this will probably be uploaded tomorrow, Sunday, the 22nd, but I worked 22 days in a row, and then on Tuesday I was off, and then on Wednesday I had a meeting off-site, so I was kind of sort of off because I wasn't really doing like work, but I'm part of this committee, so I'm the secretary for that committee, so I was taking notes there, which is why I had to go, because it was one of the meetings that I needed to be in attendance, and I still have to transcribe those and put them online so everyone can look at them. But either way, I was working a lot, and then when I was off on Tuesday, I was like, oh, I could be so productive. Like, I have laundry to do, which I did do some. I have cleaning to catch up on because I've just been spot cleaning here and there when I had time, and I had knitting to do. So I did get some knitting done, but I didn't really, film or anything, obviously, because you're seeing this video. But my body, I was just so tired. I slept like the entire day. Like I woke up, had some coffee, went right back to bed. Okay, so now this part, slip, knit, pass. I gotta remember that. had to get, oh, okay, I'm going to have to, on my next row, this stitch marker here, this like peachy, orangey one, I want to replace it with one that I got during my yarn crawl because I think it's cuter than just a regular loop. And I want to be a little extra. Oh, I just lost it. So I'll have to put that in for the next time, the next round I do. But yeah, so I just slept and did some knitting, got further along in my redo pair of the Raylight socks, and I did not work on the Tempestry project during that time. I was also just kind of like, my brain, I've been thinking a lot, training a lot, I just need to, oh gosh, cool it down. So Friday rolls around, which was yesterday, and I had, for some reason, volunteered myself to participate in something at my job. And I thought it was interesting. It's definitely not part of what I normally do, and now that training has wound down for the most part, I felt like I could devote some more time to some other things that actually were different that I don't usually get a chance to do during my normal routine at work. So I signed up, and I had to be trained to do this thing. And the person, like a week ago, had confirmed I was going to, have this training session from 5 to 7 in the evening. And I usually get off at 5 on Fridays. It's later than I would have to stay, but it's like one of our closing shifts, so I stay behind, make sure everything is done the right way, since I'm there, and it's like half an hour past when I normally would leave work anyway, so it's not that bad. And it was like telling the crew, I'm like, hey, I'm going to head out, a little early because I have this training to go to, so you guys lock up, put the keys here, there, all that good stuff. And they're like, okay, cool. So I got to the training area, and there was another person I knew who was also volunteered and kind of interested in this thing, and we're just like, where's our trainer? And I'm thinking, like, as a trainer myself, I'm like, this is unprofessional. They're late, we're here early, now it's 5 o'clock for sure on the dot, and they're late. Now it's 5:10, now it's 5:15, like, where the heck are they? I emailed the trainer, I emailed the person who was, like, coordinating everything, I emailed their manager, and I was just like, what's going on? And then finally, like, me and the other person who actually showed up, like, there was supposed to be a third person there, and then they either bailed or they knew ahead of time that, like, what was happening and just didn't come, or I have no idea. But they weren't there, so it's just the two of us, and we're like, okay, 6:30 rolls around, we're just going to go home because we've already been here for an hour and a half, and nothing's happening. And as soon as I get home, I get this email, and it's the trainer, and she's like, oh my gosh, so sorry, like, I usually work my volunteer area on a different day, and I didn't know there were more people who were in this slot time for training, and that's not usually when I train, so, but it was clearly we booked that one online, so I don't know. But she's like, okay, can I come in during your spot that you usually would have volunteered your time for? And mine is late, like very late, because I'm already here and don't really have much else. Well, I mean, of course I could be sleeping or knitting, but I figured I could try to knit while I'm there, because it's not so much that you have to really do a lot, but then I was proven wrong. So I was like, well, actually mine's tonight, later on, do you mind coming back in and showing me how? And they're like, sure, fine. So they came, and then they're just like, okay, you come in, you do this, you do that, here's the code for this is what you do, bye. And I'm like, wait. So I'm like trying to take notes because that helps me learn, and the whole time I was just like, you're just going to leave me by myself, like, and not like make sure that I'd done everything the whole way through to know that I'm, going to do this the right way and not mess anything up. Like, I'm a little nervous about that stuff. Like, I learn better by doing, but I also like somebody there just to kind of remind me if I'm missing something, and that's usually how I train. My crew is that I show and then I watch, and I'm there to offer feedback and reminders as they work so that they they know if they need to change up what they're doing. But I think because of how everything went, or maybe that's just how they are, they just didn't think that they needed to be there with me. And it actually went okay. Like, I was there for 2 hours, I got home, I felt alright, and I think I can do it again next week because I have like a once a week thing, commitment and all that. So we'll see. I think I have, oh my goodness. That yawn comes from how late I got home. But this morning I overslept and I had an alarm. I swear to goodness I had an alarm set because I actually had to take Kabu, my girl kitty, to the vet today because she has, I wouldn't say it was a nervous tick, but since we moved to this apartment, or townhome I guess you'd call it, she's been licking her tummy, like, obsessively. She's already been, like, a pretty meticulous groomer up to this point, but it's been a couple years now, and she's licked so much. Like, she's kind of bald on her tummy now, and you look at pictures before we moved in, she wasn't bald there, and now that she is relatively hairless on her tummy area, it's kind of just like her poochie part, like the little floppy bit that's kind of by a cat's hind legs. If you have cats, you know they have like this flap of skin, and it actually kind of helps them kind of parachute when they jump, and so it kind of gives them a little bit more air when they jump. But anyway, it's just kind of floppy there when they're not jumping, obviously. And she licks that area a lot. So at first I was like, oh my gosh, she has cancer. Like, she must have ovarian cancer. It must be a tumor or something, or breast cancer because of the mammary glands that are, in that area. And why is she licking herself like that? And I'm like, okay, well, she's eaten the same food since she's been a kitten, and we've used the same laundry detergent, so it's not like an allergy just magically came out of nowhere. But the vet was, like, the first time he took the vet and told her about the licking, and she's like, well, if it doesn't get worse, then, it should be fine. So we're like, okay, but, a year goes by, she's still licking, but it didn't look any different. So we're like, okay, but then all of a sudden, like, the last month or so, she's been licking, and then she'd get, like, scabies. And so we're like, okay, well, maybe she's just licked so much, she's kind of, like, chafed herself. But then they kind of grew and became more, like, blistery. I mean, not blisters, but, like, not lesions either, but, like, more like burns, like, super chafe red burns instead of just, like, scabby bump things. And, of course, she was sneezing, and I figured that might have triggered a herpes outbreak, because a lot of shelter cats, she was a cat from a shelter, develop, they call it like a kitty cough or something, but it's essentially herpes in cats. It's not contagious to humans, but it's dormant, and then when there's stress-related issues that come about, it usually will trigger that, and it's, the sneezing, the constant sneezing, the runny nose, watery eyes. So it's not a cold, it's actually herpes. It's a virus, and a lot of cats have it. If they came from a shelter, it's almost unavoidable in those situations. It's just whether or not the cat's going to have a flare-up. And the last time she was super stressed, it was when Kokuo was battling cancer, and he was stressed. So his sneezing, coughing, of course, triggered her sneezing, coughing, and now oh my gosh, Kokuo is the one who passed. Koji, my current kitty boy, he was sneezing. And then it was like, he was like here or there, but she was just like, choo choo choo. And then, an hour past a choo choo, and then another hour, and then another a choo choo choo, like, attack, and it's like, ugh. But her scabies have gone away, and of course we were going to take her to the vet anyway, and of course we had, like, barely any evidence to say, this is what's happening to her, look at her tummy, what should we do? And then the sneezing stopped, and it's like, nope, we're still taking you to the vet, Kabu, like, you can't get out of this one. We need to know what's the matter. So we have some blood work done. We didn't do a skin sample, but the vet did give her, like, this Depo something shot that's kind of like steroids to reduce inflammation, so at least even though she's still licking herself, it's not causing like these flare-ups of scabs and open wounds and things like that. There is a side effect. It could cause temporary diabetes, but we'll have to see, if anything changes in her behavior, diet, litter box frequencies that would determine if it is in fact a negative reaction. And our vet said it's usually after continuous doses that might happen. But in my vet's case, she has a cat, and she gave her that same shot for, she didn't say why, but some other reason, and she instantly got the diabetes. But of course, it's temporary. It's treatable, and as long as you take yourself off of those shots, then your risk goes away and you don't have it anymore, I guess. You as in your cat. So we're going to keep an eye on her, but it's not going to stop her from licking. But I have to really think about what kind of stress factors may have happened since we moved. Like, her behavior otherwise is totally fine. She loves to play. She loves to hunt her toys. She roughhouses with her brother Koji. And, everything is fine as far as I can tell. Like, nothing, no weird situation, we do live next to dogs now, but we always lived by dogs that were barking. And these dogs bark a lot more than dogs that we've lived near before, but it's not like she can see them. It's not like they're, of course, in the common areas where we like to hang out, we can hear them barking all the time. But as far as, her going to bed and everything like that, or her being, traumatized by these dogs, it's not happening. So I don't know what is triggering her stress. I have an idea. I kind of think it's my partner, because she does not like him at all. She'll tolerate him. She'll let him pet her every now and then. But for the most part, one day, we've had her since she was 6 months old. One day she just decided to love me more and didn't want to have anything to do with him, and would run and hide when he would try to approach her. And we've tried him doing the feedings, changing litter, interacting, giving treats and stuff like that, but she just every now and then she might rub on him, and she might tolerate some pets, and she doesn't swat or hiss. She just kind of bad ears. She turns her ears out. She starts licking her lips, because that's one of her things she does when she's not in a good mood, in a nervous state. And I almost want to say that he's triggering it, because he's always kind of tried to force her to like him, and I keep telling him that's not how cats work. You gotta wait for them to come to you. You gotta work at their speed, their comfort level. But he's like, no, she likes him. No, she doesn't. And the whole 6 years that we've had her, I don't know why he can't not bother her like that. But I honestly think that something that might be it. She's always been an over cleaner anyway, but concentrating on the tummy, she'll always give herself a bath after she's been handled in some way she doesn't like. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a cat that has some strange idiosyncrasies or tics or quirks that might be concerning but are essentially harmless to the cat? She could lick herself all she wants, and the worst that's going to happen is she's going to just be bald there. And if she's on the depot shot, then at least she's not getting infected or anything, because the steroids are helping fight inflammation in her tummy region. But her quality of life, why is she so stressed? Nothing. He has always been trying to get her to love him, and she's no. And before then, she was not licking herself that bad on her tummy. So I kind of think it's that, but at the same time, then she would have licked her tummy so raw already in the very beginning stages of her life, because she's established that she does not like him like that, and she likes me more. So I don't think that is it, but there's also not much else new in our lives that would have triggered it. I don't know, but maybe she's just that kind of cat. Where are we? Okay. Doo-doo-doo. I got silent there because I'm like, okay, I've been yapping, and if anyone knows me by now, you guys know I can't do that and knit something. And it's not even like a complex move, it's just I need to know where I am when I need to do it. So I had to get a little quiet there. It's like when I parallel park, and which is rare, but when I do, I usually turn the music down because it's like I need full concentration, like no distractions, no background noise. And you've probably seen it on the internet already, like memes of like turning down the music so you can figure out where you are and where you need to turn or something, like when you're driving. And I'm definitely that kind of person. Like if I'm lost, like, and it's not so much. It's actually, I think it's more of like a sensory thing, like when your vision and your audio are like interfering with each other. So if you're trying to look at stuff and listen to stuff at the same time, it's hard to kind of focus your attention on one or the other. So I totally get it, why you gotta have it quiet. I'm also the kind of person, like, if there's too much other stuff going on in the background, like somebody talking really loud next to me while I'm trying to listen to this person talk, it's like, it's all over the place, and it's hard for me to just, like, focus in on the one conversation. But it also helps for eavesdropping. I've listened in on a few conversations that were none of my business, but were very interesting because I just could hear them talking, and I'm like, what? Did you hear that person say that one thing? And then whoever I'm talking to is like, what? No? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, I have the tea on this total stranger over here. But I don't know. But yes, so I overslept. We were late to our vet appointment, but we got Kabu in, and now we dropped her off, and I went out, did some errands, and I went to this Indian restaurant. Like, Indian food is delicious. If you like spice, if you like heat, and you like flavor, Indian food, delicious. All kinds of cuisines are all delicious, but I particularly favor Indian food. I love Asian dishes like Chinese, Japanese food, Korean food, Thai food. I think those are like the main Asian foods I've had besides Indian. Like, I guess East Asian versus Western Asian or South Asian. But oh, it was a buffet. It was so good. And now I'm like super sleepy. So, and it's been rainy all day. It's raining now. So I have my light on, even though it should be a nice bright midday, but it's gloomy and dark. So I've had to just, live my life with a little extra electricity today. But I'm thinking after I finish chatting with you guys, I am going to take a nap because I'm sorry. I think I just heard Kabu because she caught something. Anytime she catches her toy mice, it doesn't even matter if she's like moved them like 2 feet or to a whole different side of the house. Like, she'll just meow 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 meow. Like, she has this particular call. Like, I caught something. Come look at what I've caught. Come look at what I've caught. And I'm like, okay, but like, I think it wasn't my day off, but I was going in work late, I think, one of those days when I had later training, so I just came in late, and I went upstairs to change to get ready, came back down because she was screaming at me, and she literally just moved the mouse, like one of the mice she likes to play with a lot, just from like our recycling bin, which was like by the wall, to an ottoman, and it was maybe 5 feet. Maybe. That's a stretch. I think it was probably closer to like 4 feet distance, and I was like, okay, that's nice, Kabu. She's really silly. Sometimes Koji actually will hunt too, And it's really cute because he'll just like, there's this one toy mouse that he really likes. Like they have different toys that are like their favorites, and his is like this like fuzzy like party streamer kind of looking mouse. It has like all these little things like coming out of it, and it kind of reminds me. If you're from like the 90s, you might remember the Kush balls, like the little fuzzy things that have, it's kind of like a sea urchin looking thing, like just a bunch of spikes, but they're soft and kind of rubbery, and it's kind of looks like that, and he loves to play with that thing. Like anytime he finds it, it's usually under the couch until I set it free, and then he bats it right back under the couch. But that is like one of his favorites. And he'll put that in his mouth, and he'll make some noises, and it's really funny. But rarely is he as animated as Kabu when it comes to that. By the way, it's still my birthday month. I haven't forgotten. I'm gonna live it up. You know, I have still worked on developing my list of items that I have my eye on. So if you guys still have any suggestions of things that you would think I would like and should purchase and review on here as part of my celebration of living another year, let me know still in the comments any of the videos that I have going here. I am still looking and hoping for some feedback on some suggestions, and for October I'll then go ahead and make those purchases if they are, you know, price point friendly and are actually of taste or of interest to me. And then I'll of course give any honorable mentions to other things that may have been suggested that I didn't end up adding to my knitting collection. I do have a couple gifts that I received and a couple more things that I purchased myself. I just haven't shown you guys because one, it wasn't here yet, and then two, I kind of wanted to add it to the October video series because then everything that I would have had accumulated in September can be showcased then. So we just finished row 4, and I'm not sure what I did, but it looks like I might have done something wrong. But I'm just going to keep going, hoping for the best. We'll find out if this starts to look weird, like if I added a stitch. I don't think I did. But this is the progress. I hadn't actually gotten that far because this is, let me stretch it out a little bit. This is where we are, so not too far, but at least I have like a nice bright, cute stitch marker like the one that I got from the yarn haul. No, yarn crawl. I was having a hard time saying yarn crawl when I was talking about it when I actually experienced it last month. Yeah, that was in August. So I think for now we'll just call it an afternoon. I'm going to turn you guys off and work on editing this one and have it up hopefully by tomorrow, which will be Sunday. So you'll see this in the future. And then I think I'm just going to take a nice nap because that Indian food, it was a buffet, it was all you can eat, but I still only had one plate. Though it was a very rounded plate. It was one plate, and then the mall is not far from the Indian restaurant, and we got Cinnabon, so I haven't eaten that yet. But it was fresh because they didn't make any yet, so it took like 6 minutes for them to make fresh cinnamon rolls, and I had been craving Cinnabon for a while. And usually what happens, I'll just tell you guys real quick, like usually if I'm working crazy hours, then like all the foods that I could easily access any time, like become really focused on my brain. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.